Now, it's a topic we've spoken about at length, but the problem of police brutality just doesn't go away. In fact, it seems to be as prevalent as ever. Now, there are two stories that are so insane, we decided we absolutely had to share them with you. And let's start in Arizona, where a SWAT raid went wrong and left a two-tour former Marine dead. You see, SWAT teams had targeted a series of houses and an ongoing drug investigation. And when they got to the house of the former Marine, Jose Guerrena, he had already been alerted by his wife that someone was outside. So he grabbed his rifle. But before Guerrena could remove the safety from his rifle, he was greeted by more than 60 bullets from law enforcement. And sadly, the incident gets even worse. Turns out that as the wife was trying to help her dying husband, the SWAT team refused to let anyone attend to Guerrena, leaving no hope for him to survive. After request from the local press, the wife's 911 call was finally released to the public.
I need you to get a clean cloth and apply a light amount of pressure.
I can't. I can do that. There's a bunch of people outside of my house. I don't know what the heck is happening.
Okay, go ahead.
I need
This is the sheriff's department. Ma'am, this is the sheriff's department. Who is outside your home? I need to know who is outside your home. Can you look out the window?
I think it's the SWAT, but they're... Oh, my God.
Okay, so can you please open the door for them?
It's open. It's open. They open it.
Now, after the raid, and after shooting Guerrena 60 times, the cops didn't find any evidence of drugs in their raid. We should point out that a lawyer hired for the SWAT team says that the raid did uncover handguns, body armor, and even a law enforcement uniform. But the sheriff refuses to release any details about the search warrant, despite the investigations and allegations of improper conduct by law enforcement. So while this could easily become a he said, she said incident with no real answers, we can report that it took days before law enforcement even spoke out about the shooting and have made several accusations about Guerrena, which his widow denies. But regardless of what was found, we have to ask, did they really need to break into a home where no drugs were found and proceed to kill a former Marine by putting 60 bullets into his chest while his wife and child were inside? Now, while details get sorted out on this story, let me introduce you to another incident, this one in Virginia. Officer Willems is being accused of abuse after an encounter with two young men with mental disabilities who were riding their bikes. After initially stopping the boys for not having the proper lights on their bikes, the victims claimed that Willems detained one of the boys by holding onto his arm. But he held the arm so tight that it was broken in two places. And his mother spoke after the incident to a CBS affiliate, WTVR.
And had him, by his arm, and kept wrenching his arm and broke his arm in two places.
The boys got away, made it home, and their mom called for an ambulance. The chief says Sergeant Willems learned of that call and without a warrant went into the boys' home and arrested both of them for obstructing justice.
Pretty scary, right? Well, after a local CBS station started investigating the incident, they found out that this police officer had a history of violent encounters with members of the community. In fact, Willems is facing a $20 million wrongful death lawsuit after he shot another man dead back in 2006. So keeping all of that in mind, you gotta wonder, how is it that Officer Willems gets to keep his job after repeatedly finding himself involved in internal investigations, even lawsuits? But what really gets to me is how we have to report on these issues over and over again. Shows how often law enforcement, the ones who swore to serve and protect, take their job too far. At no point should an officer be able to break a suspect's arm for not having proper lights on his bike. There's certainly no excuse for the SWAT team to put 60 bullets into a man's chest. And for what? Hell, they didn't even find any evidence of drugs in the house. And even if they did, is that really something to kill a man for? Now a wife and two kids are without a husband and a father. And we continue to bring these kinds of stories as a message and as a reminder that just because you're a cop doesn't give you the right or the ability to be above the law. But that's what happens when your government chooses to wage wars on social issues.